What's up, guys? In this video we're gonna be going over a replay of a TVZ I played the other day between, well, myself, yours truly, BubblyFrog, and Zerg kevinnleee. Now typically this matchup is pretty Kevin favored, as Terran I'm just god-awful at, and usually I get around this by throwing some really cheesy, cheeky craziness at him. Sometimes that's mass Hellions with blue flames, sometimes that's just like a crazy 5 or 6 barracks marine rush. But I've agreed not to do any such thing. So we should be seeing a pretty long macro game. Some of you might have been watching this on Kevin's stream when it was live, but he did disconnect somewhere in the middle of the game. Not going to spoil when that occurs, and I don't think the stream ever came back, so you might have missed the later half of this game. So also gonna be showing you what happens there, and I'm gonna try to be analyzing what I specifically could have done better, because I'm trying to improve my Terran. I'm trying to take this time to improve. So opening things up, this is a pretty greedy opening. It's just supply depot, obviously, barracks, and right into command center. Kevin, he is going for a pretty standard Zerg opening, hatchery first, extractor, spawning pool. You know, Kevin never one to pull off the drones. Usually you would see most Zerg players pull 2 drones off of the gas once they start their speed. This is just for a little extra mineral income. Every little bit helps. You don't really need that gas most of the time. But Kevin likes to go for fast layer, fast banelings. So depending on your build, it's fine. Now back at home for me, I am starting to get into a factory. I do have a defensive bunker here at the front, and I think in the future it might be better to put that a little bit closer to the command center, just in case lings try to run in, bypassing the bunker and maybe go for my mineral line. So that's something I'll perhaps think about in the future, but my reasoning for this is to have it as part of the wall. I guess that might not be too good because it is easily bustable. Bunkers only have 400 HP, same as supply depot, so 5 banelings could bust down 3 of my structures, assuming I have like 2 supply depots here somewhere. Now Kevin has a few Zerglings. He's just gonna hang out here, and yeah, exactly what I said before. He just runs past, sacrificing 1 Zergling, and he's gonna get 1 SCV. That's about it. 4 Zerglings for 1 SCV. Not entirely worth it, but he does kind of get a bit of a scout. He poked up here. Don't think he really saw anything substantial there, but not a terrible move there. And I do have my tank now, and I'm gonna start producing Hellions. My plan this game is to go for mech. I'm not a very competent bio player. Can't really split that well. Looks like a SCV might have been trapped, but maybe not. Maybe it's just because my wall is up. And I'm trying to emulate the play of my cousin, Berserk, who is a pretty good Terran player. He often goes for mech, and I know he likes to go for a timing with Hellions and Banshees, so that's kind of what I'm doing here. Execution wise, not quite as good as Berserk. And the point of the attack is not to kill your opponent, it's just to put pressure, see if you can pick off some drones, maybe some queens. And that's what I'm going for. Got a starport with a tech lab, one Banshee out, cloak on the way. Now, let's take a quick look at my Zerg opponent's base. He is going for that Spire that he so loves. Only at 47 workers. Now, considering he's been untouched for 5 minutes, that's kind of low. But we all know that's not really Kevin's strength, and that's totally fine. Certain players, such as Dark, who is a very accomplished Zerg player, does often stick to low workers compared to his peers. So that's not the end of the world by any means. You do see Kevin has a third base. It's not really saturated, but he is focusing on the gas, which is the most important thing when you're going for mutas. We do have 4 on the way, and here comes that attack I was talking about. Only a few Hellions here, and my control, to be quite honest, wasn't very good. And yeah, just trying to see what I can do. I do get 1 queen there, might get a second one, and that's decent. No drones, which is unfortunate. And looks like, yeah, with these mutalisks, that should be pretty much the end of this attack. I do get another queen at the tail end there, maybe clean up some creep, and maybe get some shots off on the drones, but I don't think any of that went down. I'm not sure if that was really worth it. In fact, 1150 minerals, 200 gas lost, and all I got out of that was 600 minerals, so not really worth it. But it puts some pressure on him, cleans up a little bit of the creep, cleans up a few queens, so does kind of do something. My opponent's floating a lot of money here. Maybe that's a result of not having all those injects. And back at home for me, just getting some more tech structures. I have my 3rd CC ready to float on down whenever I decide to do that. Now my building placement, kind of awkward. This guy's stuck over here. I do have a nice ring of missile turrets around my base, so should be pretty safe against those mutas. Keep in mind though, this is a pretty heavy investment into missile turrets. There are 7 on this screen here, and over here there's 5 and 1 down here. So yeah, a lot of missile turrets. That's a lot of money invested into that muta defense. Not sure if that's entirely worth it. Maybe it would be better to just have like 1 or 2 on the edges. I don't know. Not really sure on that part. But I do want to be super safe against those mutas. My plan is just to turtle up, go mech. And that's what I'm doing here on the 3rd base, preemptively getting these missile turrets. And gonna be trying to saturate that soon. And upgrades wise, I do have +1 armor on the way. Only working off of one armory. Think probably want to go double armory earlier, and there's my 2nd armory. And yeah, just going for Hellbats and Thors. The Hellbats are gonna be very useful to just burn up any Zerglings really quickly, and Thor's gonna be the big damage dealers in the back. Now I don't really have too good of a scout here. I did drop a scan earlier to identify the mutas, but I don't really know what else he's doing. And here's 4 Nidus networks trying to drop it right in my face. That's a little BM. Right in front of the bunker as well. That's kind of ambitious. No way those are getting up. No, sir. Yeah, but maybe if it was like back here, that might have been successful. That's a pretty hefty investment for Nidus networks, and those Nidus butts, what are they called? Nidus canals? I don't know. Those aren't free. So as you can see here, 3 going down. That's a nice catch. And doesn't look like he has anything in position to try again for a later one. So pretty big investment for 0 gotten, 0 return. Yeah, that's the right word. But my opponent, he is doing pretty decently on the macro front. He's got 4 bases, almost fully saturated. He's got a 5th one on the way, 6th one on the way as well. And I'm only on 3 bases. Now, my army is much more advanced, as we do see 5 Thors in here, 6th and 7th one on the way as well, and my opponent saving up a lot of money. And this could have been a huge opportunity for me, but very scary to push out with an unmaxed mech army, and not really sure how to do so. So maybe if I had went like right now, I could have just won the game flat out. I mean, yeah, look at what he has. All he can make are Lings, Banes, and Mutas, none of which are too good against my army composition. And we see those said Mutas flying in, trying to look for an opening, but that huge investment into missile turrets paying off here. Look at the supply. My opponent on 125 supply, but he's got 7,000 minerals, 3,000 gas. He is saving up his supply and money for Ultralisks, which is the tech of choice now that he has a Hive 2-2 on the way, adrenal glands for the Lings on the way as well. And creep spread for my opponent, not that great. Maybe that's a consequence of that early 3 queens that were picked off, so that's nice, I suppose. Double scan going down, so I do identify this Ultralisk cavern. Not really sure what the proper response is. Maybe like a ghost mech style, but I'm not very good with ghost. I think I probably could have used maybe some liberators, probably some more tanks. I think this army doesn't have enough splash damage. I do have a couple on the defense, but yeah, none on my main army. Now, I am maxed out, and it looks like I might be looking for an attack here. We do see these Mutas coming in once again, trying to be annoying. They kind of just fly right past my army, and that's so annoying. He does get 1 tank here. But all the Mutas do go down, but they've done their job. They've done more than Kevin probably expected or really hoped for, because all right, that's where he dropped. So we resumed from replay, and here we go. I was ready to go for an attack there. I was out here, he drew me all the way back, and now I'm kind of like, I don't know, apprehensive or something. But he has ultras now, and he's maxed out himself, so probably a missed opportunity there. I definitely should have gone, and I don't know why I'm still not going now that I'm maxed out. So definitely quite an error there. Just trying to set up my 4th base, it looks like, throwing down a bunch of missile turrets, but it looks like the Muta threat is pretty much gone. My opponent does have Vipers as well, lots of energy on those, so should be countering my mech army pretty hard. And yeah, splash damage is not quite there for me. Probably needed more tanks in this army. Blue Flame was never researched. Just forgot about that. I don't really know why that's so late. It looks like my opponent here looking for an attack of his own. He's maxed out. He's got a lot of money, so he wants to take trades on my side of the map. Just trade out his army, remax, and oh, nice blinding clouds. My Thors just don't know what they're doing. They're just derping around. Ultra's honestly not the best unit in this matchup versus mech, but it's good enough, right? He's just trading away his army, like I said. Cuts down my army by 60 supply, and yeah, it looks like I held, but my opponent, he's got a lot of money. He's just reproducing his army. 11 ultras on the way, and yeah, look, he's already remaxed. I'm still at 147. I have to slowly build my Thors, my Hellbats, and this just looks pretty rough for the Terran player here. Zerg already maxed, got a bunch of ultras. He's got 3-3. Well, we've both got 3-3. But I don't really have an answer to these ultras, and especially not these Vipers. Again, Ghosts would be pretty good against these Vipers, just EMPing them or sniping them out of the sky, but I don't know how to use Ghosts, man. And back at home, now I have maxed out again. I'm honestly not feeling too bad. I've got a decent worker count. Gonna be throwing up some extra command centers to morph into planetaries just for defense, and just hanging out in the middle of the map here. Teching to battle cruisers. Fusion core on the way. Only one starport, but that is my late game plan. Big attack from my opponent here, just crashing his Banes into the planetary, and that's totally worth it when you're as rich as Kevin. Blanketing the mech army with blinding clouds as well. And again, looks like I'm gonna clean up barely, but yeah, he can do this all day long. He's got 11,000 minerals in the bank. He went down to like 130 supply, but now 13 ultras in production. And I lost the base, lost some workers, lost some army, and I'm down to 144 supply. I'm pretty broke. I'm trying to get up this base, dropping a ton of mules before the command center's even done. Little bit early on that. Now they have to walk all the way over to one of these command centers. Bit of a mistake by me there. Definitely jumped the gun on those mules. My opponent's sitting on, what is that, seven bases. Not fully mining, of course, but he can transfer workers. He can just get the gas, and he is chilling. Super rich, 8k minerals. Meanwhile, I only have 300. Make that 400 now. And look at this number here. That's the income. That's how much money we are earning every minute. And pretty close right now because of my mules, but my opponent just mining very effectively. He has been for pretty much the entire game. And I do have this new 4th base up. Trying to reestablish this one. No workers there yet. And just trying to max out again, but my opponent's already maxed. Still going with this mass ultra army. Ultras, again, not great in this situation, but he's just so rich he can afford to just throw ultras at me. And I think definitely a big error on my part not going for more tanks, maybe liberators. because obviously Ultras can't shoot up. These Vipers also been a thorn in my side, just blinding clouds all over my Thors, and they're just derping around. And he's ready for another attack. I'm not even remaxed yet. I do have some more tanks this time around, but not quite enough. Only 7 here. And yeah, this looks like it might be the final push. Overseer pokes in. That does get picked off by my Thors, but in come the Ultras and Banes. Banes, not great against Thors, but hey, when you're this rich, and look at these Ultras, they are just chomping away at everything. They're so tanky, so beefy. They got 500 HP. They can absorb hits for days. And he's just chewing up everything, yoinking my Thor through the wall there. Oh my goodness. And yeah, I've got nothing left. Trying to produce more stuff, but I am dead. 58 more Zerglings. Gonna be the reinforcements for Kevin. I'm trying to pull my tanks over. I'm not gonna siege them because actually they do more DPS when they're unsieged and wouldn't be able to run if they were sieged, but not that it matters. He's just got way too much stuff here. And now dipping below 100 supply. This is going to be the end. Here are those Zerglings making their way across the map. Never got battle cruisers, by the way. And yeah, just watching my slow death here. I've got 1,000 minerals in the bank, but what good will that really do with this massive Zerg army in my base? This is going to be the end. I'm trying to remake a fusion core, but that's not really going to help. It's just taking out all my bases. He did lose a lot of overseers. He has supply block right now. That's kind of funny. Down goes that base once again. And this base going to be going down as well. Just chomping away. Hell, that's pretty good against Lings, huh? But yeah. To clean that up, my opponent at 88 supply is not making anything until now. 8 Ultras. And he's just going all in on Ultras. 18 Ultras. But I don't have anything that's good against Ultras. And still in the game for some reason. Why no leave? I'm so dead. 77 supplied. I'm just dropping scans everywhere to see how far ahead my opponent is, and he is super far ahead. Got 1 mining base. That's it. That's all I got. I'm going for maybe an all-in Hail Mary push right now, but spoiler alert, that's gonna do absolutely fucking nothing. 56 army for me, 120 for my opponent. And he sees me, by the way. He's got these creep tumors. He knows exactly what's going on. I'm trying to be cute, sieging a tank on the other side of this ravine here. But look at these Ultras. This is why mass Ultras aren't good, because like half of them are just derping around behind. But it doesn't matter. He's got so much. Just gonna waddle in and slice everything up. Down go all the Thors. 27 supply. 21 of that is workers. We got 6 army supply. What is that? What is my army? I don't see any army units. Oh, we've got our first battle cruiser. 1 kill on that bad boy, but GG. And Kevin just dominating that game.